The card for WrestleMania, and Fastlane for that matter, are finally starting to fill out. We have new Raw Tag Team Champions, and we may have seen the beginning of a feud that could save the Raw Women's title picture. Let's get right into it, folks. I'm Rick Ucchino. Here's what Raw got right this week, and which parts I was watching and wished I was getting hit in the head with a ball-peen hammer instead. WWE opened up Raw last night by announcing the WWE title match for WrestleMania 37, which unfortunately kind of gave me flashbacks to last year when they just glossed over that Roman Reigns was out against Goldberg and they were inserting Braun Strowman instead. Regardless, Bobby Lashley will be defending his WWE Championship against the man that he screwed over at Elimination Chamber in Drew McIntyre. Or will that be the match? First things first, Drew is going to have to get through Sheamus at Fastlane, which appears to be likely. The Celtic Warrior had an opportunity to earn his way into the title picture when he took on Lashley in the main event last night, and while the match was an absolute banger, as have most of Sheamus's matches recently, the Celtic Warrior lost clean as a sheet with Drew McIntyre watching at ringside. It will be interesting to see how this plays out at Fastlane, because if McIntyre wins, then the program with Sheamus is over after definitive wins by the Scottish Warrior. But if Sheamus can find a way to pick up the W on Sunday, maybe we're on our way to a triple threat match for the WWE title at WrestleMania. I don't see it going down that way, but maybe it should. Sheamus has been on an absolute tear in the ring in recent months, and I think, frankly, he has earned his spot in the main event. Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman continued to do their thing, whatever that is. They met in the ring. Braun said Shane had no balls. Shane called Braun stupid again. I got bored, zoned out for half a second, and then Braun challenged Shane to a match, which he surprisingly accepted. Later on in the night, things finally picked up. It looked as though the match was on. Shane tried to run, Braun caught up, and it looked like he was about to give McMahon an epic pummeling. But that was until Shane grabbed a camera from one of the cameramen ringside and busted Braun across the face with it. A few rabbit punches later, Shane would prop Braun onto the announcer's desk, climb up to the top turnbuckle, and drop his trademark elbow. I'm pretty sure he missed by a mile, by the way, but the camera angle saved him on this one, which might be why they have that camera angle in the first place. The brawl then ended by turning into the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, Shane literally covering Braun in green slime that was conveniently placed under the ring.
He slimed me.
Okay, so the start to this feud has been, dare I say, stupid. But the brawl last night was actually pretty choice. A little weird.
I feel so funky.
A little weird, but still choice. These two are going to meet one-on-one this Sunday at Fastlane. We'll see if this progresses further from there. I gotta say, this is a bit of a shock. I wasn't expecting any title changes this week, but last night, the New Day did defeat the Hurt Business to capture the Raw Tag Team Championships, their 11th tag title reign. I'm actually not a big fan of the change here, though. I love the New Day, but Hurt Business has carried Raw for almost a full year now, and just weeks before WrestleMania, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin get the rug pulled out from under them. The reign of the Hurt Business, with Lashley as WWE Champion and Cedric as Shelton as Tag Champions, should have lasted a lot longer than 2 weeks. But I have to be honest, I get it though. It's WrestleMania, and you want the most marquee matchups possible, and I hate to admit it, but the New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos, the big man making his WWE debut, it's just a sexier matchup. And by the way, AJ Styles wanting to become a Grand Slam champion is actually a really good fallback spot for him, when just last week it appeared that he had no direction whatsoever. I'm sure WWE wanted a big singles match for him, but this is still a solid spot. I just hope that Alexander and Benjamin can find a spot on the card as well, because they've earned it. Damian Priest last night squashed Jackson Ryker in a matter of seconds. Awesome. That's how Damian Priest matches should be booked. Keep that man strong. Speaking of which, they attempted to keep Bad Bunny strong by having R-Truth basically buy the 24/7 championship off of him, which was okay, it's the 24/7 championship, who cares? Truth was hilarious, by the way, as always, celebrating Austin 316 Day a day early, which, by the way, happy Austin 316 Day. But then later on, Bad Bunny gets ambushed by The Miz when the former WWE champion hit the Grammy winner with Elias's guitar to get revenge for a backstage segment earlier on in the night where Bad Bunny was talking some trash. Except the camera crew missed it.
Nice.
Regardless, it appears we're officially on the road to The Miz and John Morrison versus Damian Priest and Bad Bunny at WrestleMania 37, and yeah, alright. I'm good with it. Let's see what the bunnies got. Speaking of Mania, all of a sudden, WWE has a very organic story arc for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania, one that could get very personal real fast, and honestly, they need to go this route. Asuka made her return last night to Raw after Shayna Baszler knocked out her teeth and reportedly gave her a concussion a few weeks back. The two met in a match that Shayna lost, but this was one of those losses where she didn't care about the outcome. Shayna was pinned while she had the Kirifuda clutch locked in, and we have seen that before against Kairi Sane and Becky Lynch. This time, though, Baszler did it on purpose with the goal of just inflicting as much pain on Asuka as possible. Unfortunately for her, it would not last long. Asuka would get out and then went berserk, tore off the bottom turnbuckle padding and just rammed Shayna's face right into it until the ref pulled her off. Crazy, vengeful Asuka is the best Asuka, and we could be off and running with something special here. I don't know what you would do with Charlotte at this point, maybe just a straight up rematch with Rhea Ripley, and frankly, I wouldn't know what to do with the women's tag team titles either, but I don't get paid to make those decisions. The Raw Women's title, though, is the most important thing. It has to come first. And right now, Asuka versus Shayna Baszler is the match that the audience will be most invested in come WrestleMania. I can guarantee you that. Speaking of Charlotte, she was curiously absent from the show last night. Once again, so were Nikki Cross and Peyton Royce. No follow-up at all to Royce shooting straight fire last week on Raw Talk. That's unacceptable. Again, guys, it's a 3-hour show. Do we really need 2 Drew McIntyre promos to fill the time? The answer is no, especially when you have talent like that just sitting in the back. You could see this one coming a mile away, but Mustafa Ali lost his United States title opportunity to Riddle Monday night, thanks to Retribution screwing up, because of course, they distracted the ref at the wrong time, allowing Riddle to hit the Bro Derek for the W. Personally, I'm okay with this right now, as long as this eventually leads to Ali winning that title at a later date, let's say WrestleMania. Here's my pipe dream. Ali finally gets sick of Retribution for screwing up all the time, and they just split. They break up, Retribution just implodes, okay? Ali then heads to Mania, beats Riddle on his own for the United States Championship, and the rest of the group then gets their old names and gimmicks back. Everyone wins. Well, except for Riddle. No offense to the Ultimate Bro, but I just think that an Ali run with the belt would really give it a level of depth and purpose that we haven't seen in a while, even in Bobby Lashley's dominant run. If you don't know what I mean, go check out Ali's Twitter timeline. It'll all make sense. And finally, Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton are going to have a match at Fastlane, I think. Alexa laid down the challenge for Randy Orton to take her out, and no, not the kind of take her out that nerdy fanboys dream of. She wants Orton to come with malicious intent. He accepted, and I'm intrigued. That's our video this time around. Make sure to give us the old thumbs up there. Also, make sure to subscribe to the SK Wrestling YouTube channel for more content like this, plus exclusive interviews and more.